Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Outward, shall we? I tell you what, the more I play, the more I enjoy it, and I was streaming a game recently, just continuing to learn the game, and in my Let's Play where I'm further along, and also learn from veterans of the game who have a lot of great tips to share. Now, one really useful tip is to just take a look at our effects panel. We have a well-rested benefit, and we have stamina recovery that we got from eating berries. And what you want to do is we're also going to take a drink right here. And then we get another stamina refresh and hot weather defense. And you see it lasts for 3 minutes. Just by doing berries and water, we have permanent regeneration that's, albeit small, to our stamina. And that's tremendous. So a suggestion would be to carry actually 2 water skins and always be drinking and eating so you have these buffs. Now, I have some burnt stamina and health, which is kind of like the reduction to your max indicated by the grayed out portions of our wheels there in the bottom left. And we can restore those. And one great way is by drinking tea. So, mineral tea restores burnt health, and needle tea restores burnt stamina. So we're going to need to kind of experiment, get some more recipes under our belt. And one fantastic way to do that is it's expensive, but you could buy recipes, and then if you use the recipe on yourself, you will learn it, and then you will know it. If you ever want to play the game with another character, you will just know the recipe, and then you don't have to buy it because you can enter it in manually and have it. Or if you wanted to just, circumvent that altogether, you could simply look online for the recipes. And I'm going to show you some basic recipes that are just extremely useful as well, that will help us in the early game. All right, so let's check our quests. What are we up to? Well, we have this big quest here, looking to the future, and then we could turn in crystal powder. We could go to the mountain, which we want to do, and we want to get blue sand and, well, take a letter to Berg. So I feel that before we go out of this area, we definitely want to get ourselves in a position of more strength than where we are. So let's look at our inventory. We have 2 mana stones, which is not enough to make the crystal powder. But I'm going to go ahead and start breaking some things down because I'm carrying around too much stuff. So these trader boots I can bust down into linen cloth, and those as well. How many iron scraps do I have? I have 2, and I have hide, and I have predator bones. Okay, and I have some wooden spikes. So what I'm going to do is you know what? I'm going to go back to town. It's getting dark anyway. You see the sun setting. We don't want to be out wandering around in the dark. We could turn on our lantern, but it's kind of a bit of a waste. I'm going to go ahead and get some wood. And we're going to talk about crafting traps and just the benefit of traps for helping us to fight. You can make very simple traps early in the game. We've already picked some up that are easy to use, you don't set off, and that will soften enemies significantly so that when they come to fight us, they're already really injured. Because at the start of this game, you're just not strong. And we need to figure out ways to enhance our survivability. Here's some fish, so let's get it. Now, another tip that was, I was actually talking to someone in the comments about, you can actually gather salt water and then boil it to get salt. if you are low on salt and don't find any salt veins to mine or anything like that, you could certainly do that. However, you need an empty water skin to make that happen, unless you want to have no water in your water skin. The other thing is, of course, if the water is unclean, you can boil it, you can gather it in your water skin and then boil it in your cooking pot at the campfire and make it potable water that, doesn't give you horrible problems internally. Okay. I'm just looking for some fishing spots. And then, do I have anything I'd like to sell? Nothing tremendous right now. I do have an extra mining pick that I really don't need. So we'll sell one of those.
Is there something you need?
Yes, I'd like to sell. So the mining pick does sell well. I mean, kind of, 6. That's pretty good. Some of these items, like dark varnish, and some of these potions really, really do sell quite nicely if you're looking for some cash. But for now, I'm okay keeping what I have. I'm just going to sell this, I believe, to lighten my load a touch. And let's go back to our house and talk about crafting. I need to go back to our house because we have a lot of health we want to restore, as you can see. Now, I could just use bandages to restore my health, but also, if you want health regeneration, as far as I understand it, eating meat is a great way to get health regeneration. So let's try with this jerky. And there it is. So you see here the jerky gives us health regeneration. So most dishes that you make that contain meat protein are going to give you health regeneration. Now that health regeneration is pretty low. It's, if I go to effects, you could see it's health recovery 2, 0.25 per second. So that's not bad. My health is ticking up. But if I actually push left trigger and hold it and use a bandage, I can stack them together, and now I have a bandage effect and health recovery 2 to really, really get my health going higher. Now, if you drink, there are potions that will instantly restore your health, the life potions, and they're fantastic, but we need some beetles to get that going, which we can find if you're mining iron, for example. So, in our stash, this is where we have the iron scrap. This is where we have all the mana stones. This is where we have the linen cloth. So, we can actually go buy a alchemy kit and complete the quest for the mana stones. But let's not do that just yet. Let's craft a few things. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of these out. These beetles we can use for some delightful tea. I'm going to take that out. This hackmanite we could sell for a lot, which we probably want to do early game. I'm going to save... let's see if we could sell this power coil also. And then I'm going to take out this cloth. Alright, so now I have a bunch of stuff. And I can go to crafting. And you could see I already know how to make, for example, an ice rag. The oil lantern recipe is just, refilling its oil. And we can make travel rations, etc. Not bad. But let's go to manual. And let's just say we're going to put in iron scrap, cloth, and wood. And this makes tripwire trap. It makes 2 of them. So once you make the tripwire traps, or anything, when you just manually enter it, you will get the recipe. Now, you could go buy this if you're uncomfortable with me just telling you, but the way I see it personally is somebody just told it to me on stream. And, I always try to, I have this kind of like morality where I personally don't like going out and looking at a wiki to understand how to do everything and then playing the game. But if somebody who's like a friend or somebody just tells me something in the comments, and I will be okay with using that information as long as it's not too insanely spoilery, because I review it or I feel about it like when I was a kid growing up, and you would talk to friends about games and they would give you some advice, and I am okay with that. At least that's how I justify understanding that. This is just a few silver to learn this recipe anyway, but we get this, right? And now we can make it again, and we have 2. But what we're going to do is go back to manual recipe, and we're going to just take this out and take this out, and this says invalid combination. So what if we add another iron scrap? No. What about 4 iron scraps? There. 4 iron scraps are iron spikes. These iron spikes you need to load into your trap. So you build the trap, and then you set the tripwire for the enemies to walk across and trigger. But you have to put some kind of damaging item in there to actually hurt them. Iron spikes are just a really easy thing that we can make. You could do much better than this, of course, if you have the materials and the recipe, but this is just like super basic, and it will allow us to demonstrate this. Okay, I'm going to get out of crafting and go back to it, and let's see, what else do we want to make? What if I combine a linen cloth with I don't. Yeah, here we go. Some oil. What does this do? Fire rag. So now we had the recipe for ice rag. This is the recipe for fire rag. This is a lot of damage to add on. So very simply, you can just combine these to make yourself do a bunch more damage. So like imagine you set down a trap, and then you bust out this, and then an enemy that was, really, really difficult, you have a better chance on. So that's just some really simple crafting stuff that I think is useful. We already made ourselves armor, and I'm going to open the stash, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in some stuff that I don't need. I'll put in this shield, for example, and I will put in this wood and the iron scraps. Okay. I'm actually going to put in this hide, too. Just anything that's, like, reasonably heavy. Now, I'm going to go down. I didn't bring very much water with me, which was a mistake, but we'll get it. And I'm going to go to the kitchen in our house. And let's just go ahead and say, okay, with a beetle and some water, what can I make? We make bitter spicy tea. So you can mess around trying to make teas by like combining bugs and different things with water. And bitter spicy tea, you can see right here, protects against the cold and restores burnt stamina. So if you're going to a place like, I don't know, the Conflux Mountain, and maybe it's cold there, you could drink that to protect against the cold and just restore your burnt stamina, which is fantastic. Now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take out these mana stones, and I'm not going to take them all out. I'm going to take out 2 for the quest. I'm going to tell you what, mana stones you can sell, and they sell pretty reasonably. You can also turn them into this item that we're about to. But later, when you get magic with your character, and you want to be casting spells, you're going to need mana stones for the... I don't want to spoil too much, just for the item. Well, you saw it in the tutorial, right? The fire stones, or whatever it is you need to make your sigil. You're going to need mana stones to create those. So you want to save those up if you plan on using spells. And spells are just cool, so why not? Okay, I'm going to go I'm going to turn off my light and just run over here. She's got like a little light. She has a candelabra. And I'm going to say, hello, I want to buy something. I am going to buy her alchemy kit. It's expensive to buy this, but we're going to buy it. And I'm going to then sell her. We have some good stuff. So like the Hackmanite sells for 50. I'm going to sell it. The power coil sells for 20. So I'm going to sell this as well. If you want to sandbag all of your rare crafting items for later for your character, absolutely. I'm going to sell this machete. Just understand that most of them you can get. Like the Hackmanite seems to be a rare drop, or rare-ish. I mean, I got it just from mining where you can find mana stones. Now what we're going to do is just go into our inventory and use our campfire kit right outside her place. Nobody cares, no problem. And we're going to light it. And then I'm going to use my kit, my alchemy kit, and just put it right on top of the fire until when it's blue means you can place it. I'm going to deploy it right on the fire. And then now when I interact with this, it's using the alchemy kit. And we're going to have to do manual recipe, but she told us for the quest, it's 4 mana stones. And we made the crystal powder, and we get the recipe now. And we can then go up to her and say, hello, I'd like to talk.
Here, this is yours.
So she gives you 15 silver. But she also gives you a bunch of potions that you can sell or keep, which is great. So you can make more of this if you want to just... And she will allow you to do this repeatedly. You can actually talk to her.
Hey there.
I'd like to talk.
Here's the plan.
And she can give you this quest again.
Listen.
So you can repeat this if you want to just try to farm mana stones. Also, the troglodytes that are the magical ones, you can break down their stabs into 3 mana stones each, which you can then sell or, do this quest for. So it's a nice thing as a starter. I am going to hold Y to disassemble my mining or my alchemy kit, which means we pick it back up, and we don't lose it. You just make sure you take it and you get it back. The campfire you cannot pick up and put in your backpack. Once you light that, it is done. But it's so easy to get wood. And as long as you have flint and some flint, you're fine. Alright, and let's go in. I am going to rest. It's dark. Why not? Let's restore all of our stuff. Actually, though, let's put some things away. So, I do not need, just out in the wild right now, my alchemy kit or my cookpot. I don't feel that I need those for what I'm going to do. I also don't need wooden spikes. Okay, wonderful. Oh, I don't need these predator bones either, but predator bones are phenomenal for creating an upgraded weapon. I actually might be able to make the upgraded weapon right now. Let me see if I can. Let me go here and just take out the predator bone and take out steel. Take out wood. Okay. I might need hide. I don't think so, but let's try it. So I'm just trying to remember this recipe. You can buy, these are the fang recipes that you can buy from the blacksmith in town. And they basically use bones that you can get from hyenas and stuff. They don't drop every time when you're getting hyenas, but you can use them to make an upgrade. So right now, for example, we have our iron mace, which is 22 damage, 25 impact, and 1 attack speed. And I think you actually need the mace. So I'm going to take it off. And then do I use the mace? And then bones and then like cloth? Is this what it is? Yes. Okay. You actually, I don't think, needed the cloth. No, yes, you did. It just stayed, but all the other ones disappeared because I used all I had. So what did I do? I used my weapon, and I used one bone and one cloth to make my one-handed weapon into a fang club. And you could see the fang club does more damage, has more impact, and it inflicts bleed on enemies. So I'm going to equip it, and it looks pretty funky, but it is better than what we had. And it's really, really easy to get. It just, and you can do this with any weapon type that you have, depending if it's one-handed. If it's a two-handed weapon, you need 2 of those bones, I believe, to make it happen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and craft while I'm in here, thinking about it, some more bandages. I just need a ton of bandages. I pretty much am never upset that I have bandages. So I'm going to give myself just lucky 7 bandage. That's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my stash here, and I'm going to put some things away. So I'm going to put away the iron scrap. I'm going to put away this wood, put away this hide, and put away this cloth. You can also put away your money because it does weigh a good bit. Like you could see, it weighs 2.1. All right, let's rest. And I'm going to rest, until midday here. And I'm not going to repair. No, I lied. I'm going to repair for 1 hour and just rest for 7 hours. Repairing is very important, and you can pay the blacksmith to repair at this point in the game. And the reason you'd want to do this is because things are less functional when they're damaged. So all of my stuff is at full durability, which means it's all operating perfectly. But if you get down, even if it's not completely broken, it's going to start to diminish its effectiveness, whatever item it is. So always try to keep your stuff well repaired. Now we need to fill up our water. We might want to buy another water skin. That's actually not a bad idea. Or, try to figure out how to craft one. Now we have 200 silver. And that's a good amount that we can use to, buy a recipe maybe that we want and just teach ourselves. Here's some fish. That azure shrimp that we just got actually sells well. I'm going to drink. You can see I'm going to gather. All of our wheels are fully restored now. I'm just going to run over and just see if there's a recipe that I want to know how to make. I could just, give ourselves a huge advantage in this beginner's guide and just use the recipes that I already personally know. But I think it's more reasonable to buy some just to give a semblance of what your personal economy is going to be like the first time you play the game and not just, skip out on buying some of these things. So if you go through what she sells, you can see down here, she sells the recipe for life potion, and it's only 25. We already know, by the way, you see how we already know fire rag and ice rag? It tells you when you try to buy the recipe if you already know it over there underneath the name of it. So don't buy something you already know. And if you find the recipe out in the wild and you know it, you can actually sell the recipe. So we want to make a life potion. So I am going to buy the recipe for that. Now I can go down here and remember that rainbow, that azure shrimp that I found, it sells for 9. I'm just going to go ahead and sell that currently. And if you have food that you're not using that's like about to rot, you might want to sell it because it goes bad and turns into waste that you can't do. It's not ideal. So I'm going to go ahead and sell that. There we go. And we got a new recipe. And let's talk to my dude over here to see if he has any recipes that we might want.
What can I do for you?
Browse the shop. So if you look at his stuff, this is where you get like Fang Axe, Fang Shield. Ooh, Fang Shield sounds good. And for example, these are where we learn those things. Now we could probably guess what a Fang Shield takes just based on he sells half-plate armor, which not only gives resist, but gives you protection. It would slow us down, but it's cool. Brutal Knuckles. Nice. Inflicts confusion. That's funny. I am going to buy the Fang Shield recipe from him, just to be honest with our finances a bit. Alright, so I'm going to use the Life Potion and the Fang Shield. I'm going to go to crafting really fast and just check on the Fang Shield. Yep, shield, bone, cloth. And it just makes it stronger. And lastly, let's just go over to our dude over here.
Is there something you need?
Yes, there is. I'm going to check. He sells some tea recipes, makeshift leather, which we know, and then he also sells amylite. Amylite you can find ore veins for nearby, which is cool. You can also buy a tent, which gives you a well-rested bonus in the wild, but it is worth noting that I had a tent, and I swear that it was only a one-time use, but I could be wrong about that. It might be that you can pack it up. Now, he sells another water skin, and it's really cheap, and we're going to buy it. He also sells teas for really, really cheap. Like this mineral tea, it's 8 silver for one, but it will restore your burnt health, and that might be useful if we're out in the wild. I'm not going to buy it now, but I'm okay with this. I'm going to buy another water skin now. Okay. If you can verify if the tents are single use, I mean, it doesn't make sense that they are. I swear you should be able to reuse them. Maybe it was just the one that I got, but it was like I couldn't break it down, but maybe I just wasn't doing it right. Okay. So what I want to do is just have a little fun showing off some traps. Oh boy, I rolled with my backpack. But before we do that, yeah, we can fight Birdman here. Let me do some things. Let us first drink and eat a berry and just get some passive health and stamina regen going. Now, you see the bird right up there. I'm going to go into my inventory, and I'm going to select the tripwire trap. And then when I deploy it, you see the blue rope and sticks on the ground. Let me kind of go to where it's really, really easy to get this locked in, right here. And then use it, and then you can put on, you know, weapons and stuff. But we're just going to put on our spikes. And I'm actually going to just, oops, give my backpack back, please. Do that again. This is egregious, like what I'm doing to this guy, but I want to just demonstrate this. All right. So I'm going to get him to follow me. He's on me. Luckily, these little chocobo guys are pretty slow. Just going to kind of walk him back. And remember, we can't set these off on ourselves. So I'm just going to kind of go over here, and... Oh, he's running away. No, we need you. You come over here, buddy. He doesn't want to come. What a jerk. Maybe he knows. Maybe he could sense it. Now he's running. So now I have to run after him. Alright. Well. He gave us meat and an egg. Now these guys can also, at a 2% rate, drop an awesome mask that I was really lucky to get in my Let's Play that gives you like a movement speed buff, which is insane. Okay, so I'm just going to pick these up. And if your trap doesn't work, because that guy didn't want to come, you can disassemble them, and you can get your stuff back. I'm going to try to find somebody that will follow me. The probe worlds are weird, like, for combat. Oh, hyenas are perfect. Or bandits, either one. But there's a hyena and a bandit. I'm going to bandage. We don't really need to, but I mean, why not? Protect myself. One of the things I really want to get right now from... Well, okay. Why not? Let me go here, and let me deploy this right there. And let me put the trap, and I'm going to move up. And I'm going to go down, and I'm going to deploy this here. And I'm going to use the spikes. And I'm going to run over here. I'm going to try to like get the attention of one of these bandits. You'll notice that I'm terrible at this. At using traps. But it's really, really helpful. So let's see. Is this guy following me? He is. So we get him to go here. You see he got hit. And he's dead. Like, that guy is just dead. We didn't even have to fight him. Now, this bow guy wants to mess around with us, but he really shouldn't be too hard for us because he just wants to hit us with his bow. And so you just... He did hit us with his blade. Alright, he's dead. So we got a free iron... I mean, free. We had to fight him. But, ooh, sweet. We got a bow. I'm going to take everything. So we got a bow now that we can experiment with, and this guy had a bandage, some bread, and some arrows. Take it all. Now, I don't know why he had arrows, but he also had a machete, which we'll take. So that's the power of traps. There's nothing more challenging early game, at least in my opinion, than 2 enemies or more. But there was 2 bandits. That's hard to take on. But if instead we just used traps to kill one of them, or hopefully both of them, if the other guy wasn't ranged and followed us. Ooh, we got a beetle. Okay. We would have done even more damage there to both of them, but luckily we just killed one guy outright, didn't even have to fight him. And then the other dude was not challenging. Now, I, lost some health that I didn't need to because I was a little bit impatient and not, the key early game is being patient and blocking with your shield, but we did it. And look where we are. Like, I can just go ahead and eat a good meal that's going to rot, like my ceviche, for example. And this is going to give us a whole bunch of benefits. I'm going to use the bandage that we just found on that dead guy. And our health is now really, really coming back. And then we could go to crafting and just break apart. We don't want to break apart the iron sword because we can sell that pretty well. But we'll break apart his machete for some iron. And we now have a bow that we got for free. We can use, we almost have enough to make more traps. We could go back and craft more. I was egregious because I just wanted to demonstrate how powerful they can be. But that's what helps you, is you use traps to just hunt bandits and then sell their gear to make money and get yourself better. There's no experience in Outward, so your experience is your equipment and your game knowledge. So you want to just get as many consumables as you can. Oh, this guy's dead and has some good stuff, so great. We're going to just keep fighting, getting ourselves items, unlocking recipes that we need to, getting stronger until we're ready to move on. And, our next main step is going to be right ahead of us at that mountain so that we can get mana and spells. Everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.